Hey guys, I wanted to show you really quick, since I didn't get a chance last lesson because we're using a flatter map, really quick a little supplemental lesson of what I did with Marksville. So this is the DEM for Marksville. Obviously it's very hilly in some spots and it's very, there's a lot of these angles that you see. You'll see this on your map as well. Likely if you're doing a very hilly map, and it'll look like little squares and everything. As you can see in Marksville, when you open a map up in the game, these are a lot smoother. What I did is I increased that radius. I increased, we'll increase this to like, I'm going to increase it to like 0.4. And then I'm going to have the smooth option on my middle mouse button. And then I'm going to click down and I'm going to drag across. See how it kind of goes a little bit slower? You can do that as much as you want to smooth out these angles. But you're going to lose, and it's going to average out. It's gonna bring this middle terrain in line with the higher heights and everything. But see how it kind of smooths out these angles a little bit more than how you want it? So that's a little bit better. To be a little bit more precise, maybe you want to go down to 100, a radius of 100 here, and you just want to drag, and maybe we want this to hurry up a little bit, but put this to 0.6 and do that. Maybe you want to go to, maybe you want it a little bit more, a little smoother. You go to 1, click on 1, and then you can really smooth these angles out. And I'm just smoothing the angles out. I'm not trying to include like the bottom and the top together here. Maybe here at this little bottom angle, I'll include that. It's important when you're smoothing is to include because it's averaging out the terrain when you're smoothing. Okay, so between all these points, right? So this is a little valley in between this point and this point, right? And I want to bring that valley up a little bit, or I want to smooth out like the bottom of this hill or the top of the hill, or bring them more in line. I'm going to click somewhere in between here, and I'm going to drag that smoothing button across and see how it looks a lot nicer actually now. I wish I would have done this. So like they're here. This is like an angle. Look at this like square angle here. Let's get rid of that. Just don't overdo it too much, you know? You don't want to ruin your terrain. You want these smooth, and you don't want box-like angles on your terrain. See, this is a kind of a, you see that line? I'm just gonna smooth that out, right? Now I will teach you later a method for when we're doing a street spline constructor. I'm going to show you a method for using splines to kind of work the terrain as well, and that's certainly going to be helpful. So like maybe I'll bring this image up. Where's my plane? Not the water. I want that. So, you know, I discussed earlier how I really wish that, because these are much more dramatic hills in real life, and there's supposed to be a valley in between them, but really in reality, how the map turned out is there's a hill. So if I were to redo it here, I would definitely smooth out this hill more, bring it down more, maybe just mainly in this middle area. Okay. And then once we learn splines a little bit more, I would use a spline. Okay. I would use a spline and kind of use this image and then spline along this hillside right here. Okay, and then bring that spline down, and we can use a script called, if I even have it in here, yeah, you can go into set terrain height by spline, and it'll drag that terrain down in that spot. And you can just do that across this whole area. And then on this hillside, I would do the same thing if I were to redo this map. So don't panic. There are ways especially with your smoothing, because this is definitely fixable. Okay, it's not a huge deal that it didn't come out perfect, because we can still sculpt it a little bit more to get it a little bit more in line with how you want it. So with the DEM technique that we just learned, you're going to get it as close as possible, obviously. But later on, we're going to use different things through the smoothing and the splining process. That's going to get it even more where you want it. Okay, but don't panic with the smoothing. If you over smooth, you're going to ruin your DEM. Okay, so let's move on to the next lesson with the cultivator density, and then you'll have a better idea of what you need to do with the terrain. Because after that, we're just going to in-game it and just check. We're going to in-game the map and just check our areas and make sure it looks right, or those heights look right. Okay? Don't panic yet. All right. I'll see you in the next episode.